I'm back for a surprise reading today. This is my 100th video, and I was intending to do something very whatever to mark the landmark, but I haven't got time because Cohen's going to plead the fifth and all this other stuff is happening. So we might have to defer our centennial celebrations, intrepid viewers. I'll do one down the track. But in the meantime, this is catching up on Trump's legal enablers. I've decided to do this one on today because there's a couple of issues. One is Cohen pleading the fifth, and the other is Noel Francisco, the Solicitor General. Let's go. So, Cohen pleading the fifth. Will this mean something or nothing? Okay. All right there. Just a little, because I want to cover a few issues in this. Okay, in his central position, the Eight of Cups walking away, in this case meaning shutting up, going for the Fifth Amendment, so walking away the conversation, the testimony, walking away from all of that by pleading the fifth. So the sun is radiantly shining on Cohen, his dealings, and his premier client. Not to mention the Sean Hannity stuff, which I should do a mini reading on too. So, women are celebrating Cohen going away symbolically, so that's not surprising, the Stormy Daniels, all that stuff. These are the women celebrating his departure. Because although I'm not a lawyer, it seems to me if he doesn't say anything, and that's his privilege, he also can't verbally defend himself. The evidence speaks, Michael. And if you hadn't got your legal degree in a Cocoa Pops box, you would also know this. So it's obvious his lawyer has said, man, shut up, just shut up. Do not open those lips. At the same time, that doesn't mean, well, I'm not going to talk, so that's the end of that case. No, the evidence will get its chance to speak. The King of Cups, on top of this, I think might be his lawyer, the one saying this. Some of you might have another idea who the King of Cups is here in this particular case. I think it's his lawyer advising him to take the fifth. What's his outcome going to be, viewers? I bet you'd like to know. Well, that would be the Ten of Swords. Gone. He's a goner. He can shut up, but it's too late. The women will celebrate. The sun is being shone on his vicious and awful practices, and he's a goner. Now, while I'm preparing the cards for, is it Noel Francisco, Solicitor General? Something else I saw today, various judges are now tackling the legal case. You know, Trump always got staff to sign non-disclosure agreements. When they joined the White House, they were even more repressive than had been seen before. In fact, they said, you cannot speak of him or your work forever. No sunset clause, forever. You cannot speak ever again about what happens in this job. And lawyers are beginning to realise this contravenes basic constitutional First Amendment stuff. So his non-disclosure, Trump's non-disclosure agreements, I think are going to be challenged en masse. 2 or 3 will go forward and go through the system, and that'll mean the others eventually, in a year's time or something, will be voided. And that's when we're going to see the books, the films, the mini-series, because all the Bannons and the Hope Hickses and stuff will all want to talk. Sean Spicer, remember poor old Sean? Hasn't found a job yet, you'd have to say. Okay, so now I want to focus on the Solicitor General, and a viewer requested this, and as the viewer pointed out, this Noel Francisco is Trump's defender in some of these court cases, and he's the next in line if Mueller and Rosenstein get fired and so forth. So he's one of those left-wing players, not left-wing politically, I just mean left-field players. We're not that familiar with the name, but his role is important. Yeah, okay, so Noel Francisco, Solicitor General. Who appointed Noel Francisco? My very well-informed viewers. Who appointed this man? Okay, a quick 5-carder on him. Well, grubby. This is more of the same, isn't it, really? Like, this is someone who lives in the past. He shares Trump's view that nothing wrong with 1956. That's where women knew their place, where African Americans knew their place, where there were no gay people. It was awesome. Okay, so in his past, he's carefully watched his money and he's carefully nurtured his career. He's not entirely sure it'll be enough because, again, the Trump curse, once he does this gig, he may never get another job. So underneath this, things are changing fast, very fast, and he's going to be under attack. He's going to throw out some barbs, that's him throwing it out, but he's going to receive a lot of barbs. He is not well aspected here on top for the interpersonal relationships. He's already offended a lot of people. He's only been in the press for 5 minutes and he's already upset people. One of the things he said was, because he's a supporter of the Muslim bans, travel bans, Islam, what did he say? Oh, Islam is a very nice country. No, this is like people thinking Africa is a country. It's a continent with dozens and dozens of countries. And here is a Solicitor General who is saying Islam is a nice country. It's not a country. It is not a country. So this is an administration that prides itself on ignorance. There's a fascinating concept that I came across at a conference a couple of years ago, and it was used in the context of people being willfully blind to what's going on around them. And this researcher described it as a contract of ignorance. So in other words, it's different if people don't have the opportunity to mix and see shared opinions. So a child in the house of parents who only watch Fox News, it's not the child's fault they have a really narrow worldview, right? So we're not talking about condemning people for not having the opportunity or the education to make more informed decisions. What we are talking about is those who do have that opportunity and who don't take it. That is the willful contract of ignorance. This man has made his way to being the Solicitor General. The main issue he's fighting is the Muslim ban, and he hasn't even so much as read a tiny essay, article, report, background briefing, dossier, anything to understand that Islam isn't a country. That is willful ignorance, and that is the contract of ignorance that Trump insists on his representatives having. If they have a thought or a fact, they're not allowed on board. So he's an excellent choice for Trump. He's perfect. He's in the mould. I am hugely powerful now, and I don't know how the world works, so I'm your man. Okay, his outcome, dirty work, mucky, poo, yuck. So, his corrupt money dealings, because so often these things go together, are going to be unveiled. And so apart from not being a very successful lawyer, because you can't tell me at the position of Solicitor General, if you think Islam is a country, you can't tell me you have the intellectual wherewithal to take on Ninth Circuit judges, High Court judges. This guy will be eaten before lunch. Right? He is so totally hopeless. And he's used to working with small groups of people. He's used to just being in black money land. He's never had to prove himself intellectually or seriously, legally. He's got his money behind the scenes. Is there a pattern here? Yes. Okay, so that's Francisco. Yucky poo poo. All right, let's do a quick update now on Sean Hannity. Just a second while I mix these cards up. Just one moment. Excuse me, viewers. Okay, things have got so much worse for Sean. And Fox News still hasn't sacked him, which is mysterious, but he'd have to be on the skates, wouldn't he? These nasty, nasty business deals with that totally corrupt Carson who is in charge of housing. How has he still got a job? And so Hannity was involved in shell companies that bought, I think it was 850 properties or something. And the idea was they would put poor renters in them, then kick them out and then sell them on. Nice. Good working class bloke, Sean Hannity, really helping people. Cares about the little guy. Yeah, right. No, he's worse than I thought. I thought he was just a zealot, narrow-minded, bigoted zealot. But he's not. He's bent and nasty as well. So, update on Hannity. All right. So with Sean Hannity, he's still got the protection. Sorry, viewers. He's still got the protection. I would have thought of Murdoch because he's a golden goose, but the Queen of Wands. There's a woman still protecting him. I don't know who that woman is. It might be someone on the Fox board, but it's such a male-dominated domain. I don't see it there. Black Cat, Wand of Staffs. Who is she? Okay, so he's largely protected by her. It might come to me in the course of this mini-reading. This is him in the background, the Page of Pentacles, made his way forward, said what he thought, and made lots of money and more money. He doesn't have the mental capacity normally with the Page of Swords, but it came across as communication. He is a very sincere communicator, so he was very good at his job. So underneath that, the magician, it's mysterious of how he got the job in the first place, how good he was at it, at being able to still be there. All of that is purely magical, Sean. So on top, a very auspicious card, the card of hope and inspiration. This suggests to me in this position, at the top of his reading, He's got reason to hope. He wasn't sacked overnight. Let's hope it is still in the works, surely. And the only way that'll happen is if viewers turn off, and we'll see what happens there. But he's still hopeful. He's hopeful he's going to keep his gig, and who knows, in this corrupt and foul world, he probably will. But it is being weighed up. The Wheel of Fortune is in play for Hannity. And this also implies it's in the short-term outcome. The throw of the dice, the karmic destiny, it'll go one way or the other, obviously. So he might be sacked in the next month or not. I think if he's still there in a month's time, he's probably kept the gigs. But the other, I don't know if other people have seen this, but the other Fox staff are not that happy with him now either. So they're unhappy with the basic contravening of journalist laws, which is he was supporting Cohen when he was a client. He was supporting other people when he was involved with them. He would say on his program, what a great job Carson's doing at the Department of Housing, while he and others are buying 850 properties. Now, he, like all of them, will face legal ramifications from all this down the track. So we're not talking about that yet. We're talking short term. So his fate is undecided as this goes to air. It's also not his call. In other words, it doesn't matter if he volunteers to leave or threatens to leave or what he does. Doesn't matter what he does. It's going to be a fateful outcome. And Fox News is so toxic and so counterintuitive to anything that's right or just. Who could say? Who could say? He'll probably be made president of the board of directors. Who would know? But the upshot of all of that is, for him, it's not decided yet. And it could suddenly go off with your head, Sean Hannity. But that would be reasonable, so one can only hope. Okay, guys, so that was my 100th. Not what I was expecting to do, but I will do a special 100th sometime soon. Bye.